very glad to be here with you today to share and talk about relationships. So for a very long time, I didn't have healthy relationship, especially romantic relationship. And that's when, for me, the journey inside of myself started. Because for a very long time, I thought, I'm attracting a toxic partner. I keep having the same behavior because I don't find the right man, because I don't find the right woman. It's not because of that. I realized it later on, is because I had to look into myself and create a sacred, centered space with my value, with my desire, in order to attract the healthy relationship, the man that I was looking for, which is, I'm very grateful that today it sits beside me.
Hello,
in this moment. But the real journey of attracting him started with myself, started with doing the work, looking in those parts of me that I did abandon, part of me that I didn't know. They were there because of my wound, because of my trauma. Coming from a very toxic house and environment in my childhood, I started to repeat the same pattern without actually realizing why. Why this doesn't stop, why I keep attracting the same man that doesn't treat me right, they don't give me what I desire, because I wasn't giving to myself what I actually desired, because I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I actually was, because I have been created this identity coming from my abuse as a child. That's me. That's what I can get. That's how much I am worth. And the reflection, the partner that I was attracting was reflecting that. And since I started this work, that's when everything started to shift. And I started to have healthy friends, like the two present here today, and an healthy relationship, a beautiful, healthy relationship with my man. And it did begin with me. That's why today we wanted to share this with you, because it started with the work that we did for ourselves. So that's a little bit about me.
That's beautiful, I love that. And hello everyone, today my name is Mark, and I'm Sara's partner. I'm also a coach with Sara as well. We help people go through relationships if they're wanting to attract relationships, or if they're already in a beautiful relationship, just helping them strengthen, that dynamic with each other.
Absolutely.
And for me, my journey really started, my awakening started back in 2021, and I started. It was during COVID, and I went through this really deep search inwards to look at myself and start to really pay attention to all my patterns of behaviours, like why I do things in a certain way, why things happen for me, why I get these results. And that journey led me through to becoming an awakening coach, where I helped over 100 people to really look at themselves, go through limits and beliefs, and really choose themselves in their life. And from that experience, I get into meditation. And through my meditations, I started to realise my relationships that I was in. I was married to a woman last year for 9 years, and I realised a lot of behaviours that was in that dynamic wasn't healthy for me, as well as I've got 3 young girls as well. And actually Ella, my eldest girl, before I came today, I actually told her I'm going to be speaking today, and she drew my speech today for what I'm going to say, and how to explain what I'm going to be talking about today, because originally we were going to be talking about how to heal from trauma, and we felt like that in itself, it's a little bit heavy. It's heavy, and
it is.
And we've realised that in our journey of healing, sometimes we get in the trap of continually healing, continually try to do the next thing. What's the next thing that's going to help you and fix you? But in that essence of doing that, you lose your life.
You're living life.
You're living life. Yeah, you lose how to have fun, how to enjoy yourself. So I told my daughter, this is going to be about couples, relationships, how to have fun together. And I got her to draw what that means for her. And she's like, why do you even need to talk about that? She's like, because you just have fun. I'm like, yeah, well, sometimes it's not like that. In our experience, it took a long time for us to learn how to have fun and how to be ourselves. And she's like, well, you go to the beach and you look at the sunset together, you lay on the grass.
And have your ice cream.
And you have ice cream. She loves sweets as well, and I can relate. But I think that's what we're going to be talking about today, and a little bit in more depth as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we decided to talk about that because we all have trauma, we all have a past, we all have it. Some people have a bigger one, some people have a different one, but we all have it. And when you coming together with someone in a relationship, it's not just that's it. You met a man or a woman, you fall in love, sounds amazing, but then you start to mirror each other. And I feel like the relationship is the biggest healing journey, because you start to mirror each other, you start to see your pattern, you start to see your wound, you start to see your trigger. And if we are not careful, that's when the relationship can become toxic, even an healthy one, even the one that comes in a good way. If we don't have a system, if we don't know how to navigate a relationship, which is exactly what we're going to share with you today, that Mark and I created with a lot of trial and error and a lot of pain, which you don't have to experience what we did.
Yeah.
We actually created this together for our own experience. So he had a past, I had a past, and it was basically coming in our relationship all the time. I was get triggered because of something, which was my child coming in and wanting attention, want to be seen. And it was kind of damaging our relationship. So we say, what can we do to preserve this love that we found and the healthy connection that we found? But we both have our past. So how can we create a sacred space within ourselves? And the journey started inwards, started with our own journey, like realizing where we were at, realizing like where Mark was. I became very curious about him. So at the start, maybe you idealize a partner, you met someone, you're thinking that the person that is gonna be the vision board. I did all of it, like all the things that you can potentially do to attract your soulmate. I did it, but then you arrive in the LT, in the real relationship, and it might doesn't really look like that, and it's very maybe unexpected. So I started to get curious about him instead of pretending to know how he's supposed to be, and asking, like, for example, a very profound question that I never asked him, like, what it does make you feel safe as a man? Because usually women want the safety. Women want to know how you're going to make me feel safe, and maybe the women here can relate with me. In a relationship, we want to feel safe with a man, but what about the man? And I never asked that question to any of my previous relationship, and I actually asked him, what does make you feel safe as a man? And that was a big conversation, and getting to know him about also his past, his wounds, and what he was bringing in his life and in our relationship together. And do you want to unpack a little bit?
Yeah, well, I want to
this?
touch on that as well.
Yeah,
something that Sarah shared as well. Like, I remember when Sarah and I first got together last year, it was like after it was a lot of like chaos for me, because I was with my wife at the time, but I was in a pretty toxic marriage, to be honest. Like, I was in a state where my wife was wanting an open relationship and pushing that onto me, and I didn't have that confidence in myself where I can assert myself and say, no, that's not what I want, because I'd been a bit of a people pleaser all my life. You know, from my childhood, I was always making sure that everyone else was okay, you know, filling the room, making sure like everyone else's needs got met, and I didn't really ask myself. So I didn't have that confidence to say, like, what do I want? That experience, which led me into marrying someone who didn't have my best interests at heart. And in that experience, she was out like, you know, with other men and things like that. And I was just dealing with the pain side of things. So I got to a point where I looked inside of myself, and I literally got on my hands and knees and prayed to God and said, if I'm going to experience this, I want to meet someone on the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual level. And that's when Sarah came into my life. And through meeting her, that got me away from that. And also it got me to realize, like, what is a healthy relationship to me? What does that look like? Because I was always looking at what other people want and never really asking myself, like, what do I want? And that's when I started to ask that question. And actually that's what I remember from early on with you. Like, you were very good at just always asking me, like, what do you want? Like, what is it that you want? And that's the first time I've really had a relationship where someone has really, like, you know, brought that to my awareness.
Absolutely. And it's something that Mark say that we both believe, a healthy relationship, there is not really like a framework of what a healthy relationship is.
No.
I mean, sometimes people try to give you a sort of framework. This is how a healthy relationship should look like, or how it's supposed to be. But what we created for us, it's us. We actually decided how our relationship is, what is our sacred zone, what can come in and what it cannot come in, the rules, the way that we want to have our relationship that for us look healthy, that is connected with our own center, which is important that you spend time with yourself to understand, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And then when you know it, you come with your partner and you talk about it. This is my value, this is my desire, this is how I want a relationship. And then the other partner is there to listen to you, to get to know you and get curious, instead of blaming or judging and say, oh no, but that's, you know, you did it in that way, I don't like it. Instead of attacking, like we're taking like space, we ground ourselves, we look into ourselves first, and then we come in this sacred area where there is nothing else. No money, no business, no career, friends, external opinion, external noise, chaos, previous marriages, whatever, you name it. Because that's external stuff that can kind of poison your center. And what we notice as well, if you want to preserve the healthiness of the relationship, which you decide what does it mean for you, it's so important to have a sacred zone that is just for you and your partner, where you connect and decide what works for you. Maybe it doesn't work for another couple. That's fine. But if it does work for you, that's what healthy is. And that's what Mark and I experienced. And I experienced in my previous relationship as well, like many times doing things that because someone else told me, like, you are 35, why you're not married yet? I'm not, because I don't want to rush it. I just want to go into a marriage when, for me, feels right. Not because society tell me to. Or what about the kids? What about the kids? I don't have kids. I don't even know if I will ever have kids, because that's my value. That's how I want to live my life. And we always are bombarded with some social media, artificial intelligence now, other people of how they living their life and their relationship, and we think that our relationship is not healthy. Maybe that's not the problem. Maybe it's because you haven't created your sacred zone for your relationship. And there is a lot of noise that comes from outside that make you think that your relationship might be not healthy, but it might be already. It's just that you haven't seen it because you haven't created that safety with the partner to actually see that actually we are very happy together in the way that we are. We don't need anything else. We don't need to get married. We don't need to have a baby. Or maybe we do need to have a baby. That's
maybe
what we want.
You know?
Or maybe like I'm single and right now I just want to be by myself and focusing on my own center until I know exactly what I want and I can attract the right man or the right woman for me. And that's also good too. And it's not because you are late. And I remember like before meeting him, I was receiving all of those judgments, all of those beliefs, and felt like behind, felt like that something was wrong with me or that I was doing it wrong. But it was actually in alignment with me in my journey at that time. And if you are single, this is an amazing opportunity to already build this before you actually meeting someone. It's actually amazing because when you're meeting this person, you can already maybe also give this to them and say, this is what I want inside my sacred zone. What are your values? What are your desires? And by talking about it, that's how you can see if that person is also the right match for you. It might be not. You might play too small. You might asking for less, because this one was one of my biggest work. I was thinking about the way I want to attract the man that I want, and I remember my mentor tell me at that time, you play way too small, you asking for too less. Go harder. And I remember there was a stretch for me, because I thought that I was worth of that, because that's what I always got in relationship. And then by doing this work on myself, I started to attract more. And actually finding that the man that I was looking for was actually out there. I just wasn't matching the vibration of the person because I had work to do. So this is a beautiful opportunity even if you are single. Even if you don't have a partner right now, this is actually the work that I wish I did more in depth before meeting him. I started, but then I met him, and that's how life went. So I had to actually figure it out in the middle with him already on my side, which is a little bit more challenging, but also beautiful, because I see him growing every day, and that's inspiring also for me to grow more when I see him grow and feel like, okay, he's growing, and now it's my turn, because I have to catch up with the growth of him and the opposite around.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think I guess the purpose of this is for anyone who wants to look at it is like really to reflect for yourself, like, and really think about like what is it that you want, like in a relationship, or also for yourself, like what do you actually want? That's something that, you know, we learn the hard way through trial and error, but once you find that and then you find out your values and if they align with, you know, with your partner, or if you're single, like find out your own values, then you can start to move from a place of truth and authenticity in realizing like you're no longer doing things for other people, you're actually doing things for yourself, you know? And as you start to move from that place, you're going to attract different people into your life. You're going to attract different opportunities, if it's business or if it's relationship. It's just going to be a match. And that's what we realized through, I guess, going through this journey and then coming together. Like, the reason that I had this experience with meeting Sarah in the first place was starting to feel worthy of love. And through that experience of feeling worthy of love, that was through like an open heart meditation, getting that into my body, actually like feeling that vibration. Then that's when I could open myself up to experiences like this, because everything in your external reality is a reflection of what's happening inside of you, what you fundamentally believe about yourself. So if you believe you're not worthy of love, if you believe you're not worthy of success, you're going to attract into your life people, experiences that are not in resonance, that are not like for your best interests. So the fundamental work is like really focusing on yourself.
Definitely.
And then when you have that clarity coming together in a relationship, you can start to, look at your core values and desires and things that you want to look at, and then realize like what is the noise that comes in that takes you away from what you want, right? And that's the biggest shift that we realized, through a hard path, but we got there, and
yes, we did.
And we're always learning and growing.
And something that Mark and I share, we really believe it's not really about having as a goal, at least not for us, like getting married or having a baby or buying a house. For us, it's becoming the most authentic and best version of ourselves. And that's what we base our relationship, which is called a conscious relationship. You can call it soulmate connection, whatever. It does have a many name. You choose whatever, feel more in alignment with you. And for us, that's the goal, that our personal journey and choosing ourselves every time. Like, I don't know how many times I did re-choose myself along this relationship. And the moment I choose myself, that's when he chooses himself. And when he chooses himself, and that's when I choose myself. And we just pull each other towards growth, constant growth and expansion. Because if I am at my best, that's how I can be the best partner for him. If I'm not at my best, because I don't work on myself, because I don't look inside myself, how can I be a best woman for him and support actually him in his journey of awakening and becoming his best version? So that's what we stand for, and that's what we wanted to share with you today. I think we're running out of time. Okay. Yeah, perfect.
No, all good, no worries. Thanks for coming.
To meet you. And so that's what we have for you today, is that you can keep this within yourself, you can share it, you can work on it. If you are single, you just do it for yourself first. That's amazing, especially now with dating app and all of that world. I think that can be a beautiful work to do when you're putting yourself out there again, which can be challenging sometimes. At least you know what you want. And when you know what you want, you're gonna attract what you want, because you know it. You know which kind of person you need to become in order to attract what you're calling in, because it's available, it's here for you already. It's just a frequency, it's just an energy. And the moment that you match that, things happen very fast. Very, very fast. So thank you so much for being here. Do you have any question? There is anything that you would like to ask?
No, I saw that part, sorry.
Okay, perfect. Amazing, amazing. It was lovely to have you here today. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Amazing. Do you have any questions?
So the relationship is the mirror, right?
Yeah. Can be,
It is.
Everyone is the same, everyone is the person.
Correct.
What's the difference?
What's the difference between relationship and everyone else? I think, exactly. I think for me, like especially romantic relationship, it can be like the most spicy mirror that I've experienced. The most powerful sort of like, can be very triggering, because when you're living with someone and you're exposed to like say their wounds and your wounds, and you're going through life, like you almost can't escape it. You can't just live on a rock like in the Himalayas, like in the mountains, and just meditate and everything is okay. It's like every day you're growing.
That's why the guru and the master is stay single.
Yeah, it seems that way. I like the Buddha.
They teach everyone to unconditional love, even the Jesus unconditional love.
You have a point.
Love your brother, love your neighbor.
You have a point.
No one teaches about the relationship.
Yeah.
Even the master, the guru.
You were right.
Yeah, they teach us unconditional love.
Yeah.
So what's the difference unconditional love and the conscious relationship?
Yeah. No one teaches.
Just stay single and have a public speak. Travel the world.
You have a point.
Choose lives before that, married, in relationships.
But the relationship is the most difficult.
It is.
I think it is.
No one tell this one.
Yeah. That's a good point,
Unconditional love, I mean, what I believe begin within yourself. Like, in order to have this unconditional love for everyone, you have to start to feel that for yourself. And in order to feel that, you have to do the work. And when the trigger comes in, especially when you are in a romantic relationship, your partner It's just mirroring at you
Yeah.
everything that's currently going on.
Yeah.
It's like a business. If you have a business, I don't know if some of you is a business owner here, but if you have a business, the business is going to show you everything that you need to do the work on. Maybe a fear of putting yourself out there, fear of selling, fear of visibility, fear of I'm going to fail, whatever. Like your business is going to mirroring you exactly what you need to heal and the work that you need to know. The partner, same. Friends, same. And the unconditional love, the unconditional love that you're talking about it, which I'm agree, by the way, with what you are saying,
Yeah.
it arrives when you really start to feel that unconditional love for yourself, which it comes from really going inwards and heal those parts of yourself when you do not feel unconditional love. So when you get triggered, for example, from hello, when you get triggered, for example, in a romantic relationship from your partner or from a friend or a parent or mom, dad, whatever,
Yeah.
you get triggered because something inside of you needs attention, needs some healing. Means the unconditional love is missing in there because something happened to you when you were a child or you had an experience that you felt unlovable at that moment. So your partner, your friends, circumstances in life re-trigger that because still need to be healed. There is still light that need to enter in that part of yourself. And when you're doing that, which is not easy, that's when you start to feel more love, also for the world outside of you, because you feel the love within you. And that's why you start to reflect that outside. So if you're thinking about it, people that get very angry, when they're driving is the perfect example. People get very angry at driving. They are not angry really at the drive. There is something inside of them. There is something inside they haven't faced it. Maybe they had, they're building up maybe frustration for the day, for the week, for the month. And instead of looking inside, they're looking outside. This doesn't know how to drive and I'm angry today. No, that's not why you're angry about it. There is something else inside of you that you haven't looked into it. And of course, you don't feel unconditional love in that moment because that unconditional love is missing towards yourself. And that's the journey actually for this, to attract a partner, whatever it is, man or women, preference, it starts with the love within yourself. And you can actually do this work also while you are with your partner. It doesn't mean that you need to be fully healed before you finding healthy love, because that's not true. You can find it even if you still, me and him met in a very
Chaotic.
bad place. Like we were both in the worst time to have a relationship, it was us. And it wasn't easy, but we found a way, and we are here today talking to you about it, thanks to the experience that we had. And you can do both. So you can fall in love with yourself again and shade all of those wounds, all of those parts of yourself, and also have an healthy relationship if you bring in consciousness. If you're creating safety in your relationship, if you understand your pattern when you are maybe in survival and you're responding because of your wound, and you say like, why am I angry at my partner? Well, I'm actually really angry at him right now or her, or there is something else that I'm angry at myself. And when you're bringing awareness and you create a safety and you know your pattern, you stop having a relationship that is led in survival, but it begins to be led in safety. And the safety starts within yourself. It starts with you feeling like, okay, I can go there. I'm scared, I don't know how to do it. And then you can tell to your partner, like, this is what's going on inside of me right now. I don't know what's going on, but that's how I feel. And I'm gonna work through this. And then we come together again and we talk about it. And of course, you have to find the right partner to do this work, because my previous relationship, I couldn't do this, I can tell you. I couldn't absolutely have any of this conversation with my ex-partner, but it wasn't the right partner for me, but because I wasn't ready neither to actually go so deep inside myself and see myself through him. I don't know if I answer your question, but I don't know, because that's what I felt that was coming through to share for you and for other people. But unconditional love, it's a journey. And it's okay to sometimes don't feel unconditional love and be actually angry and not bypassing anything, because the spiritual world sometimes can be like that. And that's also my belief, like forgiveness and things like that. It's a journey. It's a journey into yourself. When you will arrive there and forgive, for example, the person that abused you or the person that did something to you or hurt you, but it's a journey. So we can't bypass the phases. So when you're making a cake, the kitchen is gonna be messy during baking the cake. You can't bypass that to make the cake. Is the same with healing, is the same with unconditional love, if you want to put it in that way. There is phases and process that you have to go through before arriving there. And that's okay. Like, it's totally cool if you are in the middle, in the between, because that's where we still are as well. So there is no such a thing and I feel fully healed, or unless you're isolating yourself and you never have
Contact with the outside world, yeah.
and you just isolate yourself, you're just alone, and you're gonna feel all the unconditional love because you're not getting triggered.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In the Himalayas, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's this story like a monk in the Himalayas for 20 years and they get sent out to go to Japan in the street, and all of a sudden they're arguing with someone in the street after 20 years of just being like in isolation. Yeah. Namaste. That's
Exactly.
like I think important to remember we're here to live. Like we're human
Exactly.
beings to live life, you know, like and actually
Exactly right.
experience relationships. Actually,
Yeah.
that's what we believe we want to do.
I mean, that's what
you know?
we believe, yeah.
Yeah, and actually experience life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Having fun with ice cream and on the beach, like your daughter said.
That's pretty accurate, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Ice
But
cream is
beautiful
life.
question. Beautiful, beautiful question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. No, thank
thank
you.
you.
Yes,
No worries.
absolutely.
Thank you very
for
much.
coming. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Amazing.
See you later.
Thank you too.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I love your question.
Yeah, that was a beautiful question.
Very connected with one of my biggest beliefs.
Yeah.